Hi, good afternoon, everyone. It's great to have you with us for this daily reflection. In case you don't know me, my name is Pete. Um, it's great to have you with us if you are new, and if you're joining us for your first, your second, third, fourth, 100th time. Welcome. It's great to have you joining with us. Today, I want to have a look with you about a documentary film that I watched on Netflix. It's called The Social Dilemma. It's a powerful film, quite a shocking film, and it has in it insights about social media. That's what its main thrust is, and it has contributors who have been previous high flying, high input people into the world of social media, and they are from places like Google, like Twitter, like Facebook, like Instagram, and they're giving their commentary as to what they think the impact of social media is on the world today. And really, the central point of the thing, it has sort of three aims. It basically, what underlies it is this. It's looking at how, as society, we've developed a technological addiction that runs in parallel with the basic dopamine hit we get from using these things, these mobile phones and social media as we engage with it, that sort of rush we get from doing it. And then they look at the social engineering that's fueled by persuasive power working in the psychology and changing our psychology to drive us towards these devices, to drive us towards social media platforms. This sense of mass manipulation of a population through these things. And then finally, they look at surveillance capitalism. And surveillance capitalism is that thing where they're tracking every data input that we're making. They know an awful lot about us, and that thing that has made data the most valuable commodity in the world today, the most valuable product in the world today. That's what they were looking at in the social dilemma. And I really recommend it if you're interested in this sort of stuff. Um, Now, social media, before I go on, can be a real good force for good, but it can also have real negative sides, and the negative sides are what they are approaching it with, and they're trying to shine a spotlight on those negative sides, because I do think, and I think we all know, if we use social media regularly, particularly on mobile devices, that social media is addictive. I don't know, maybe you're not as addicted as me, but maybe you have. Maybe you've experienced that sort of phantom phone pocket buzz where all of a sudden you think the phone's buzzed in your pocket, but it hasn't actually. But you've already, before you've even thought about it, you've grabbed your phone out and you're checking to see if there's something. That sort of rush from checking to see if there's an update, to see if someone's engaging, to see how they're interacting on these platforms. That sort of rush. Maybe you're better than me, but I get those sort of things quite regularly, because we need to look no further than our teenagers and young adults for the sort of patterning and conditioning we're having for using mobile phones. I live opposite a school, and pretty much uniformly, when young people come out of their school, the first thing they do is get their phone out, and you see them doing this as they're leaving school, not looking at the world around them, not engaging with peers, but they're tapping away to see what the world is like on their social media, because they've missed it for the whole time that they've been in school, or haven't been able to check it as explicitly as once they're out the gates. And even for ourselves, I struggle with that sort of thing sometimes. Because social media itself is designed to lock you in, it's designed to draw you back in, it's working on exploiting your attention, because your attention can be monetized, and that's the focus as these things generate, is they want to generate more and more money through advertisement, through content, through those things, and your attention is the commodity. One of the contributors to the social dilemma said, if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. So they are seeing us as the product in this place that they can exploit and they can utilize to make money, to fund themselves, to income generate, to make rich people really quite rich. One contributor who is a really, really good guy said this. He said, what they're selling is the subtle manipulation of your attention. That's what social media are selling in their advertising packages, the subtle manipulation of your attention. Our consciousness is the very product that social media is driven by. Take this as an example, a Google search. Some of you may have used Google search before, and if you search for something like climate change is, you will notice that after that, you type that in, you'll see a dot, 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 and then a drop-down menu of different options. Climate change is a hoax, climate change is an emergency, those sorts of things, you get the idea. And now, did you know that they are not uniform as to the drop-down that you will get? Those options are different depending on the place you live, depending on your preferences, because they want to drive traffic through the website, through the search engine, and they want to get your click. So they're putting stuff up there that is likely to grab your attention and drag you into the world and of the internet so they can monetize your presence and your attention. One of the facts that blew me away was this, that fake news on the internet spreads 6 times faster than true news. Just let us sink in a second. Fake news spreads 6 times faster than true news. That is a scary, scary thought. You see, what all of that illustrates and what all of that shows is that social media is vying for your attention. We can often think that as we're looking into phones or other stuff, that actually we're interacting with a sort of benign, sort of inanimate object and we're getting on. But actually the reality is there is an army of engineers on the other side of this screen who are designing things that are seeking out our attention to make us addicted to social media. But it gets even worse in the documentary, and I don't want to ruin it all. Seriously, go and watch it. It is amazing. It is such a powerful insight. But they're extremely powerful AI, artificial intelligence algorithms that they have now created that have sunk in banks and banks of computers that take our thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of data points that we freely entered onto these devices because they're tracking everything, and picks out our points of interest, it picks out things like ex-partners, picks out locations, and it works out the quickest and highest yield method to get us coming back to social media, to get our attention back onto a device so that they can monetize our attention. Because this is capitalism dealing in addiction. It really is. I heard Russell Brand talking on this the other day, and he said many of the traits we're seeing with addiction to things like social media are traits that he has experienced as someone who has recovered from has an addictive personality and things like that. It seeks to change our thought patterns. It seeks to manipulate our thought patterns. And one early investor into Facebook said this. He said, if you want to control the population of a country, there has never been a tool as effective as Facebook. We know about this, don't we? We know about election interfering. We know about division. We know about hatred. The list can go on. And when we're seeing things that are cultivated solely for our eyes and reinforcing positions and journeying with us on those sort of things, it changes our patterns and it can only sow division. And what you might be thinking, why on earth am I talking about this? Well, this whole thing has created a generation, or is creating a generation, who are more anxious and depressed. And actually, it can be traced back on the statistics to the introduction, the rates rising exponentially of depression, the introduction of social media on mobile devices. And this is an issue of justice. And this is an issue that Christians, as a body of people, have to rise up to engage with, to speak about, because this is manipulation on a global scale. This is control on a global scale. And we have to rise up. We have to speak about it, not necessarily out with the baby with the bathwater, but we have to raise our voices so that this cannot continue, that we can manage our interactions better online and that people aren't damaged and hurt. We have to be advocates for justice. And we have to promote that justice, not just prioritizing that capitalism that sees rich individuals getting richer and richer and richer through monetizing our attention, but also destabilizing countries and manipulating our thought patterns. Now, I've run over time, but if you don't believe me on all of this, don't do this, but just do a thought experiment for me. If you don't believe me, try to separate a teenager from their phone for a few days. Just try. Go on. See how you get on. See that drawer and see the thing. See how that goes. Anyway, I'm way over my time. It's really important that we engage with this as believers. I am fully aware we are engaging with you over social media, so there is a certain irony to this. But let's see if we can be a force for positive change, not throwing the thing out, but saying, can we be more responsible as human beings in the world today and seek to care for individuals and seek after justice? God bless everyone. I will catch you again soon.